Recency bias. It makes sense that a lot of people are picking Islam Makhachev to beat Alexander Volkanovski in their upcoming fight. In fact, even if you put the recency bias to the side, it still makes sense to pick Islam Makhachev just based off of how good he is. However, in this video, I'm going to lay out some points to show you guys why we shouldn't overlook Volkanovski just yet. Let me just insert a little caveat quickly. I'm not saying that if you're picking Islam Makhachev to win, that means that you're just completely suffering from recency bias. My only point, people, is that because of Islam Makhachev's last dominant win, a larger amount of people than normal will be picking him to win. There's a very high chance Islam Makhachev wins this fight. Let me just be clear, just based on the skill sets he has, putting any bias aside. I'm just simply here to make a case for Volkanovski because I don't think that a lot of people will be making a case for Alex going into this fight. So I'd like to be a little bit different and make the case for Alex. Quick little story. The person I suffered the most with recency bias, I will admit, was Cody Garbrandt. I thought that he was going to be a long-reigning dominant champion, and that did not work out too well. Really quickly before I start, if you end up liking the video, hit the like button, subscribe for more content similar to this, and let's just dive right into it. So here's some stats for these fine, amazing, beautiful fighters. I mean, just look at these records first of all. Just amazing. The 2 titles, the records, the winning streaks they're on. God, this is such a good fight. Height difference, of course. Very, very, very big height difference, about 4 inches. Volkanovski, surprisingly, for his height, has such a good reach. He even has a 1-inch reach advantage against Islam Makhachev. Even in his fights against Holloway was taller, but Volkanovski still had the reach advantage. So that will definitely be helping him out in this fight. This is also not surprising. Volkanovski obviously has the advantage in how much he lands per minute, just given his style versus Islam's style. Now, Islam's absorb per minute. Luke Thomas always talks about this and stresses this a lot. Dude, Islam Makhachev barely gets fucking hit. Like, this is a really low amount, 0.95. Now, keep in mind, Volkanovski still has a positive differential here. He still lands more than he gets hit, which is always a good thing. Makhachev has the same thing as well. It's just that in terms of these numbers on both sides, Volkanovski just has a greater amount. Takedown stats. Of course, Makhachev is going to have more takedown attempts per minute. That is not surprising. Although I will talk about in this video that Volkanovski is not, Volkanovski has grappled in his fights before. People just forget that now that he's a striker, the dude knows how to grapple. Let's get into it though. What is the one key factor and key criteria that Alex Volkanovski has that he can use to win this fight? You know what it is, ladies and gentlemen? Speed. I'm making a big prediction and staking a claim into it right now. I think that a lot of us are underestimating how much quicker Volkanovski is going to look once they're actually inside that cage. There's a lot of things that Volkanovski is very good at, and one of those things is his movement. Lateral movement, front and back movement. He's very, very good at moving from any sort of angle. If he uses that in combination with his speed, I can actually envision a scenario where Islam Makhachev actually has a hard time grabbing Alex and taking him down.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
This is where I have to pause the video and focus, okay? I did not say that if Islam Makhachev grabs Alex, he'll have a hard time taking him down. I said that Islam Makhachev might have a hard time grabbing Alex in the first place. Those are 2 different things. Once he makes contact with Alex, yeah, I'm like 99% sure he'll take Alex down, and then it'll be up to Alex to get back up to his feet. But the actual act of grabbing Alex, clinching, initiating it, that might be tougher than you guys think. Do you remember Volk's last couple of fights, especially his last fight with Max, how fast he looked? And remember, he's used to fighting lighter and very, very quick people. Max Holloway, Jose Aldo, Chad Mendes. These are very, very quick fighters on their feet. Granted, they're different than Islam Makhachev in their fighting style, but in terms of on their feet and how quick they can move in and out and try to make contact with Alex, they're very fast. And Alex fights these guys and beats these guys. He's used to this. I'm not saying that Islam's a slow fighter. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that Alex will probably have the speed advantage in this fight, and Islam's probably not used to fighting a guy as quick and crafty as Alex. One of the ways I'm envisioning this fight going is anytime Islam tries to go in and try to initiate contact and grappling and clinching, Alex just moves out of the way just perfectly. This will be extremely hard to do, by the way, for 25 minutes, but I'm saying that if Alex truly has a speed advantage and he uses it effectively, this is how the fight can potentially go. Game plan, strategies, how should Alex implement everything in order to win? Before I get into that, like I said, I've analyzed some of Alex's past fights, and let me just say this. Alex has fought at 155 before against Yusuke Kasuya, and we actually do have an idea of what Alex's frame will look at 155, which, you know, here's a picture right here. Alex did use quite a bit of grappling in this fight, and what a lot of people don't realize is that Alex actually did use quite a bit more grappling earlier on in his UFC career. It's just that now, because he's fighting a lot of strikers and he's gotten so good on his feet, he's just been using his stand-up more. But the dude has grappled quite a bit in his earlier UFC fights. Here's a nice bird's eye view of the octagon. And just pretend Connor and Eddie aren't here, just for these demonstration purposes, be inside the octagon. Well, I could tell you where he does not want to be. This will be really, really tough because I've went back and watched a bunch of Islam's old fights as well. He's not going to make this easy for Alex, but Alex really wants to avoid standing around this area right here. Like really close to the cage. I think this is pretty common sense. But the issue is if Islam grabs him anywhere around here, he can just pull him or push him to the cage and then initiate some trips, takedowns, whatever he wants to from here, and just impose his physicality. You know what would be ideal? If Alex could stand like right around these black line areas, like right around here, and use his lateral movement and in and out strikes, footwork, everything to just stay around this area. I'm not saying he can't be taken down from here, but at least it's better than getting clinched and just pressed up in the cage for minutes at a time, taken down, and the round end. If he can just use lateral movement around here, just push forward to strike in just the key moments, push backwards and then to the side when he needs to, use fast, quick leg kicks, and just keep circling around here where he needs to stay. If he can do that, again, extremely hard, that will give him a chance of winning. Two other things that Volkanovski needs to be very careful of and avoid. The first being scrambling. I went back and rewatched this fight with Darren Elkins. There was a couple times where in the scrambles, he got taken down. He got really excited, scramble, and Darren Elkins was able to take him down. Now that's Darren Elkins, right? Keep in mind, that was a long time ago. I don't like to use old fights too much for really, really great fighters because of the leaps they make. But, you know, you want to be careful. If you're scrambling with Darren Elkins like that getting taken down, as much as you've improved, don't want to do it with Islam Makhachev. The second thing, this will be really tough, okay? But in this fight against Jeremy Kennedy, I went back and I rewatched it. There was a couple moments, if you're rewatching that fight, where Alex, when he would press forward, kind of feels like he would overcommit a little bit. Jeremy Kennedy got his timing down and was able to duck down, Jeremy Kennedy being the taller fighter, and grab a single leg. This is why I mentioned fast and quick calf kicks, leg kicks, a bunch of lateral movement, and only jumping in and out when he needs to. This will result in a maybe not amazing fight, but he has to implement a very careful game plan if he wants to win this. One of the things that's a bit of an unknown factor is how much and how long will Islam stand with Alex. Now, Islam's obviously gotten much better at standing, and if you saw in his fight against Charles, he did pretty damn solid. Khabib and AK and all those guys, they obviously train everywhere. They don't want to be in a situation where they feel uncomfortable anywhere. Here's the issue though. Volk is very, very different than Charles. Charles, rewatch the fight and rewatch his other fights, Charles will tend to press forward a lot more, be a little bit more aggressive, and might leave openings a lot more when he comes in and out. Volkanovski, watch any of his fights. A lot of lateral movements, a lot of front and backwards movement, a lot of kicks, a lot of showing different things. And the other key thing that you really need to pay attention, go back to Volk's old fights, any of his old fights. He's so defensively sound when he exits. Okay, he comes in, does his entries, punch, kick, whatever he needs to, and you'll notice whenever he exits, always has a hand covering somewhere. Very, very good at that. Really hard to predict this fight, like I said, but if Alex uses some of the things I mentioned, like the lateral movement, staying along those black lines, in my opinion, using a lot of calf kicks, only jumping in for punches when necessary, and using his speed in order to avoid Islam clinching him. Very, very big task, but again, he's not fighting an easy fight. That's how he can win, and that's the case for Alexander Volkanovski winning and surprising a lot of people. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button again and subscribe for more content similar to this. I have a bunch of other videos planned. I'll be doing more videos on this fight as the fight gets closer. And yeah, I really hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you thought in the comment section down below, and catch you guys later. Peace.